what we're going to do now is a round of EFT tapping. Any of you in my community have probably done a tapping video with me or something, so I'm not going to give a whole lot of background. And if you're like, what's this? And you want to know more, then there's plenty in the free community, which I'll make sure everybody has a link to in case you're not in there already, where you can learn more. But with 18 minutes left, I'm going to kind of proceed here. So the first thing that we're going to do, I'll just give you a little bit of background in case this is new to you. I'm going to have a drink of water. I suggest if you guys have water, you hydrate. Energy moves easier. Our blockages dissipate better when we're hydrated. And also, I've been talking a lot and I'm thirsty. And I'm going to kind of ask a question that I'm going to have you give a rating to. And it's going to be about how strong your emotional charge is about something, with 10 being the most and 0 being the least. And then what we're going to do is going to be kind of like, I always explain, like follow the leader. I'm going to tap a part and I'm going to say something. You're going to tap the same part and you're going to say the same thing back. Everybody's muted. I highly suggest saying it out loud if you're in an environment where you can. EFT loves specificity. If what I'm saying, you have a word that's slightly better or more related to the way you feel, you just change it and say the thing that feels authentic to you, because that's what we're here to do, right? And we're going to kind of do this round on moving from that good girl, good boy conditioning to more embodied authenticity. So before we get started on this, and what's going to happen with this, just to kind of let you know, is that because we're tapping and talking, we're sending a signal right to the amygdala, which is in charge of those fight or flight responses that we touched on briefly earlier and that I touched on a lot in last month's workshop, and calming the response really quickly. We're also lowering our stress hormones. So my favorite fact from studies on EFT is that you can lower your cortisol up to 43% in 5 minutes, which, I know a lot of my audience is also like women going through middle-age stuff like me. And when we can lower that cortisol, it helps our bodies metabolize things better. It helps things move. It just overall helps our health. So lowering the cortisol is an awesome benefit of doing EFT tapping. And then you kind of move into this space where you just feel a little bit more logical and rational. And we're working on something today that's not super tangible. If we were tapping on a headache, you would know because the headache decreased or went away. I'd be like, okay, that worked. When we're working on things like good girl conditioning and boundaries, it's like you have to kind of wait until that next thing that would have challenged what we worked on comes up. And then notice how you greet it differently. Notice that gentle curiosity that comes up instead of the self-judgment and those differences. Those little differences are a big deal. So, and as your awareness increases by doing things like this, you'll notice more of them. So the question that I'm going to ask you guys, and put your number in the chat now, but when we're finished, I would love to see your before number and your after number, because that just makes it easier for me to see how much of a shift happened, because ultimately you're going to move from a higher number to a lower number. Okay, so the question is, on a scale of 0 to 10, how strong is your emotional charge around the belief that you need to please others, stay agreeable, or meet expectations in order to be safe, loved, or accepted? So 0 is no charge at all. And 10 is like intense discomfort, guilt, fear around disappointing people. So got your numbers coming in. Awesome. 8s and 9s. For the most part, we got a 7. All right, they're pretty high. Okay, so, and then we're just gonna get started. Again, it's like follow the leader. So I'm gonna say the thing and you're gonna repeat it back. And just start by taking a nice deep breath. Even though I have spent most of my life trying to be good. You know what? Before we get too far into this, will somebody unmute and let me hear you? Because otherwise I go too fast or too slow. Anybody will do. Got a Wendy? Okay, awesome. Wendy's my favorite mirror. I think you've helped me at the last couple of workshops. Thank you. All right. Even though I've spent most of my life trying to be good.
Even though I spent most of my life trying to be good.
Pleasing, perfect, palatable.
Pleasing, perfect, palatable.
I deeply and completely honor the part of me.
I deeply and completely honor the part of me
that was just trying to feel safe and loved.
that was just trying to feel safe and loved.
Even though I've made myself small to meet others' expectations.
Even though I've made myself small to meet others' expectations
Or avoid disappointing them,
or avoid disappointing them,
I'm open to the possibility that I can be fully me.
I'm open to the possibility that I can be fully me
And still be safe, powerful, and loved.
and still be safe, powerful, and loved.
And even though I've been taught that my worth comes from how useful, agreeable, or selfless I am,
And even though I've been taught that my self-worth comes from how agreeable and all those good things I am,
useful and selfless. Sorry, that was a long winded one. I now choose to reconnect
I now choose to reconnect
with the part of me that knows I'm worthy,
with the part of me that knows I'm worthy,
simply because I am.
simply because I am.
All right, now we start to go through the other tapping points, everybody. Oh, I've been living in the good girl box for so long.
I've been living in the good girl box for so long.
I forgot what freedom feels like.
I forgot what freedom feels like.
Always smiling, always saying yes, always putting everyone else first.
Always smiling, always saying yes, always putting everyone else first.
I'm so afraid to disappoint.
I'm so afraid to disappoint.
I'm afraid to be too much.
I'm afraid to be too much.
I'm afraid to let go.
I'm afraid to let go.
My nervous system equates boundaries with rejection.
My nervous system equates boundaries with rejection.
And I've had to earn love
And I've had to earn love
by being helpful and perfect or invisible.
by being helpful, perfect, or invisible.
And this role did make me feel safe once.
And this role, it did help me feel safe once.
Yeah. But now it's a cage.
But now it's a cage.
And I've ignored my own needs just to keep the peace.
And I've been ignoring my needs just to keep the peace.
I've dimmed my own light to stay likable.
I've dimmed my own light to stay likable.
And I'm tired of it.
And I'm tired of it.
I see these patterns clearly now, and it's really powerful.
I see these patterns clearly now, and it's really powerful.
This urge to please.
This urge to please.
Just an old survival strategy.
Just an old survival strategy.
Just a story.
Just a story.
It's okay that I learned this.
It's okay that I learned this.
It did once keep me safe.
It did once keep me safe.
But I don't need to live by those rules anymore.
But I don't need to live by those rules anymore.
I'm allowed to take up space even if it disappoints someone.
I'm allowed to take up space even if it disappoints someone.
I'm allowed to say no even if it feels uncomfortable.
I'm allowed to say no even if it feels uncomfortable.
It's safe for me to choose what's true for me now.
It's safe for me to choose what's true for me now.
My voice, my needs, and my desires
My voice, my needs, and my desires
matter just as much as anyone else's.
matter just as much as anyone else's.
I'm learning to trust myself more than I fear disapproval.
And learning to trust myself more than I fear disapproval.
What would it take to redefine what good means to me now?
It take to redefine what good means to me now.
And honor myself by listening to my body.
To honor myself by listening to my body.
listening to my yes
listening to my yes
and to my no.
and to my no.
My boundaries are a sacred act of self-respect.
My boundaries are a sacred act of self-respect.
I don't have to earn rest or love or belonging anymore.
I don't have to earn rest or love or belonging anymore.
I am safe to be authentic,
I am safe to be authentic,
even if I ruffle feathers.
even if I ruffle feathers.
Pleasing myself first is not selfish,
Pleasing myself first is not selfish.
it's foundational.
It's foundational.
And I choose to be real, not just nice.
And I choose to be real, not just nice.
I am becoming more me.
I am becoming more me.
All right, put your hands over your heart. Take a nice deep breath. Exhale slowly. And maybe say to yourself how you are safe to be yourself and that your truth is welcome. Good job, everybody. So I would love to hear like what shifted in the chat. Notice how your body feels right now. Feel any lighter or calmer or clearer? Again, the prompt from before was on a scale of 0 to 10. How strong is your emotional charge around the belief that you need to please others, stay agreeable, or meet expectations in order to feel safe, loved, or accepted? 0 is no charge, 10 is intense. So where do you feel like you are now? And if you can remember where you were at the beginning, if I can see both of those numbers, that's helpful for me to see what the shift is. So yeah, 8 to a 6. That's good. 9 to a 7, 8 to a 3. Yeah, also calm. Awesome. Yeah. So this is just kind of like a little taste of what can happen when we use this particular tool. And this wasn't even like customized or individualized for any of you. This was just based on kind of the overarching concepts, and you can still see how the shift was. So like when I'm like working with my clients one-on-one, everything is custom tailored to exactly, their stories, their issues, their feelings, that kind of thing. So it makes a huge difference because like I said, EFT does really favor specificity, and we can also get kind of stuck in different like psychological reversals and things like that. So I want to have Camille share some slides again and see, let's see. Mary Beth said I definitely got emotional saying a lot. Yeah, that's good. That's good. If those things, triggered tears or even like yawning or the desire to stretch or whatever, all of that is energy moving. All of that is blocks dissipating. And yeah, it's quite common for those things. And if you happen to remember, or maybe when you watch the replay, if you watch the replay, go back to those statements that gotcha and see what's there, because those things usually have things that we should be working on more and more deeply.